Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dirt Hub All British Motocross Podcast from Dirt Hub. So, from myself, Ben Rumbold, and my colleague here, Dirt Hub founder and owner Paul Ooten. Apologies, first of all, for missing Preston Docks. We had some issues at Dirt Hub here. So, we're now back fully functional and running. And good to see yourself, Paul, on my screen. How's it going?
Yeah, it's been a weird couple of weeks, as you know. So, a few people know this, but I had a bit of a health scare. So I've spent 9 days in intensive care. So hence why Dirt Hub has been a little bit quiet of late. But we're back on it now. So not quite back to full fitness, but Dirt Hub's sort of back to probably 90% now. So looking forward to it. I've basically just missed a whole British Championship round. So I come back. Luckily, we had the replay, so I could watch that back and catch up with what went down at Preston Docks. But looking forward to this weekend. Landrake, sun's going to be out, mate. Cornwall, what more could you ask for, really?
Yeah, fingers crossed. It's going to be, it's going to look nice. Landrake, lovely venue. Really nice to be going back there for the British Championship because we haven't been for a couple of years. And it's Gilbert Town. So it should be interesting to see what comes from those guys. But an intriguing weekend in prospect. Certainly MX1, MX2, 125cc class, of course, all in action down there on the south coast. And if people don't know Landrake already, we're talking hard pack, we're talking hillsides, ups and downs, and a few big jumps thrown in as well. So it's a pretty decent wide open track and a great venue for watching motocross because you can see pretty much all of the track from most places that you can watch from. So the good part is that you got the start right in the middle. There's no doubting that you can see the first few corners from wherever you are. So it's usually a great atmosphere because the local people get down there, and like I say, we know that Cornwall's got Josh Gilbert there running at the front to cheer for. And last time he was leading there, it was vocal. You could hear the crowd on the screen, so that was nice.
You know what? I like that you call it Gilbert Town because do you know what? I've been doing my predictions here, and because of that, the Southwest factor is made it really tricky because going into it, obviously you've been working and doing the commentary at the Monster Masters, and the Monster Masters, the last round, Josh Gilbert blitzed it, and Conrad bowed out, with his tail between his legs with an injury. So, Conrad's already been through the mill this year. We know he's unbeaten in MX1. He leads the championship by a good few points, but 31 points. But he's coming into this, a little bit of a wounded animal. Josh Gilbert's got his own issues, mind as well. So we've heard from Josh that he's suffering with a virus as well. Adam Sterry, has beaten Conrad this year and has generally had the better of Josh Gilbert. But we are in the West Country and everything changes in the West Country. It's almost like racing in a different country because Josh Gilbert definitely steps it up when he's local.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he just as soon as he thinks it's going to be Landrake, I heard him one year when it was unsure of where the last round would be, and he heard Landrake and went, "Get in," So that he's certainly looking forward to this weekend more than most, and possibly that's why he hasn't done the last couple of GPs because he wants to make sure that he is fit for this one. He did Monster Mountain, looked very good there. Admittedly, he said, short races, four laps, although it's a massive circuit, Monster Mountain. So we are talking those 4 laps is a good 10, 12 minutes. 6 lap is more like quarter of an hour. So, and he looked great in those. Started to get a little bit of pressure towards the end there from Taylor Hamill. But they were looking good. So, it's I've on a sidebar. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing the Monster Mountain series. Really happy to see that Jeffrey Hurlings has been announced for the final round. That's next week, so that's the Wednesday after Landrake. So that's going to be a cracker. Really looking forward to that one, the last round of that Monster Mountain series. So anybody in that area, get yourselves to Merthyr Tydfil. It's a really cool night. But anyway, but here to talk the British Championship, and I agree with you. I mean, Conrad obviously had an issue. He had a bad start in race 1 at the last Monster Mountain race. couldn't get through the pack, ended up finishing fifth, which I don't think he's finished fifth for a good 2 years in the UK. So that's pretty crazy, or even sixth place, I think it was. But yeah, now and then in the second race he crashed whilst trying to make a move on Gilbert. So he did go off. He rode gently off the track straight to the paddock, and I was trying to get across and have a word, but he was out of there. So yeah, I just hope he's okay. Yeah, first and foremost, he's a top talent. Obviously, Nations is coming up, and we want our best man out there. And certainly in terms of pace, then you've got to say Conrad is right up there. So I think he'll be okay. He said that he'll be at the next one on the night. He said, "I'll be at the next one. See you there." To the organizer. So hopefully, whatever the problem was, obviously it was enough to keep him out of Lommel, which he was signed up to do, but didn't. So yeah, it's bad enough there to keep him looking after himself for the British, which has been the priority all season long. So yeah, who knows what we're going to get from Conrad this weekend. He's not too far. It's local for Josh Gilbert. It's not quite so local for Conrad, but it's not too far up the road, and very similar to his home practice track as well. So if Conrad is able to go at anything like top speed, even 80%, then he's probably still got enough for everybody else in this field. But again, we'll see.
I think it's going to be, I can just see it. We've seen Conrad sort of sail into a distance a little bit, but I do feel it's just going to scrunch up here because I think Adam Sterry can sense, there's an opportunity here. Conrad's not quite 100% there. Adam has beaten him this year. I think as well, with Josh having a few health issues, which we know is not, as we saw at Monster Mountain, we know is not necessarily going to dampen his speed, but it's whether he will have that late race intensity. We know Adam's riding GPs, so that side of it is not going to be a problem. So maybe this could be, maybe this is like a second moto where Sterry comes into his own here if Conrad and Josh are sort of feeling the effects.
Yeah, for sure. And for Adam, I mean, his best GP of the year there, 12th overall at Locket. And Locket, if everyone knows, is very similar ground to Landrake. Also, there's the factor of the travel for Adam Sterry. He's going to come across the tunnel, as he always does, because he lives in Belgium. And then it's just a short hop from there to Landrake. So it's actually quite close for him as well as anything else, just in terms of less traveling time. So, yeah, for sure, Adam is going to be arriving there fresh, healthy, strong. He's got stronger as the year's gone on in GPs, scored points even in the deep sand of Lommel. And yeah, like I say, at Locket, he was in good form. A quick plug, he was in the latest episode of Behind the Gate, which I'm involved with MXGP, and yeah, he was in good form. He was a good crack. Good behind the scenes footage of him. Joe from Too Much Source Media is there helping us with the with Behind the Gate, and he got some great post race footage where you can see Adam's quite a professional. He gets in front of the camera, interview. He's quite a stoic professional guy, but when you see him just close enough after the race, he's still got the fire burning in the eyes. That's quite a different interview, and it's good to see. So yeah, no, it's a good episode, and Adam makes it, so that's cool. And yeah, fingers crossed for him, because yeah, he must be getting fed up with 7 times second in races this year out of the 8 races. So he must be getting fed up with that, and I'm sure he'd love to get back on the top step.
Cool, and let's be fair, we're halfway through, so all right, he's 31 points down. You probably got to say that in terms of the title, Josh is out of it because he's 69 points off of Conrad. He's probably out of it. But Adam, if he can come to the party here and have a good Duns, if you can have 2 good days at Duns, he still probably can say he's still got a chance here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I fully believe that Adam has got a chance at this. I mean, you don't quite know what Conrad's dealing with. He's been very good at disguising it, keeping it quiet. And yeah, but one thing we know about Conrad is that he hates to lose, especially in the UK, even if it's hurlings. So whatever he's got in the tank, it will be burned all the way through for Landrake. So yeah, I still think we'll see a very strong Conrad Muse, but I think it will be closer. Gilbert and Sterry, especially if they get good starts, could be tough to beat. It could be one of the best races of the year in MX1.
Yeah, I get a feeling this is going to be the tightest we've seen it. Between 3 riders, I think any one of those three could take a moto. I think there will be two different moto winners.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think there's a couple of people that might even get closer up if we get good starts from Taylor Hamill. You
Yeah,
know, he's good on a hard pack. Tristan Purden, okay, he's more of a sandman now, but he is South African. You know, he's raced concrete before, so you know he's not going to be any slouch around there either. So those two guys with good starts could also get in the mix. Even could be a factor if they get better starts than Conrad, and it could be tricky for him to pass them. So you know, there's lots of permutations and possible situations. I'm really looking forward to this one.
yeah. And like I said, Taylor Hamill. I remember when I was doing the work with Rob Hooper Racing, and he had an epic battle with Josh Gilbert down at Landrake that went right down to the line. And yeah, Taylor is good round Landrake, and I think he could be, if there were one rider I think that could bridge that top three this weekend, I think it could be Taylor.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking at a possible podium for a minimum goal this weekend. So Taylor was very fast at Monster Mountain, very nearly caught Josh in two of the three races at Monster Mountain, and he's coming to form. That 450, it really suits him, and yeah, he's looking like a real contender.
Cool. Other riders, do you think that might well be there? We said Tristan Purden's there. Looking through the championship, we've got Jamie Carpenter, who looks like he's not on the entry list, is he? So
No, he hurt himself in Preston Docks. So he had the crash in the first race, didn't he?
yes, that
So
was it. Yeah.
I think yeah, Jamie is currently out of the situation, which is a real shame because, like you say, up there in fifth in the championship. But yeah, that's a real shame for him. I think he's going to lose that fifth in the championship to Taylor at least because Taylor's only 5 points back. So yeah, that's a real shame for Jamie. I hope he gets well soon. If he doesn't spring up a late entry as a surprise, but yeah, that's a real shame. We hope that he comes back quickly. Just behind Taylor there, we've got Martin Barr, your perennial favourite, and yeah, he also had a decent showing at Monster Mountain. I don't think we saw the very best of him, but you know, he's got a good bit of hard pack training going on there. And then yeah, further back in the points, at least you got Carlton Husband, John Adamson, and Dan Thornhill. John's been up and down this year as usual, but yeah, he's back and racing this weekend, so that's good to see. And Carlton Husband could be a surprise factor because he's very good again on this hard pack sort of going, like he was at Schoolhouse a couple of years ago when he was that close to a podium.
Yeah, a rider I think that's starting to grow and I think is going to be pushing definitely towards the top five is Joel Rizzi. I do think, he's not had a lot of luck. Everything's sort of gone against him, but I just feel now we're getting towards the second half of the season. I think a lot of this luck, bad luck, and obviously a lot of learning what they're doing on this bike. I think it's going to start to bear fruit now. I think he's going to start to get a few results. You start to see that in some of the later meetings that you could start to see a little bit of Joel shining through. So yeah, I could see him getting a top five this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been getting gradually quicker and quicker in those in both the British Championship and other races that we've seen. He had a bit of a argy-bargy in the first round at Monster Mountain, which I sort of put down to, okay, you're in the MX1 class now. You know, this is the sort of thing that there is no quarter given. So, he's steadily adapting. Don't forget, he's adapting to that as well as anything else. It's not like when Conrad moved up to MX1, he just had the pace to be away from the pack, really. Whereas obviously Rizzy's come into this brand new bike and he's right in that pack. All of top pros in this country, getting stuck in and doing all they can for any extra bonus. So yeah, Joel's had that to deal with, and he's starting to show his pedigree. So yeah, who knows? We'll see what Joel can bring to it, but yeah, it's going to be entertaining to see what he can do.
Yeah, Tom Grimshaw, another one now back from injury.
Yep.
Watch out for him because Preston Docks he was seventh, so he's starting to wind himself back into fitness, so he'd be one to watch.
Yeah, he had a good payday also at Monster Mountain. He had a few good ones there, getting on the podium. So yeah, Tom on hard pack, it's his favourite stuff. He's just come from a character building weekend at the EMX Open category at Lommel, where he sent me a little note at the end of the race saying, "Where's this petition to shut this place down?" Asking for a friend. So yeah, it basically yeah, I'm not sure if he really wanted to do it, but it was done because it was going to be a good test and a good development race for him after obviously missing most of the season from injury. So yeah, I think that's only going to help him physically. And yeah, back to the hard pack again. He should be quite happy. So I can see Tom in the top five personally. But we'll see.
One rider who did actually really well in the Open at Lommel was Dan Fornell,
Yeah,
and
he was
that
superb.
10th in the championship. And looking at the points between 10th and 5th is not a lot. So, quite a lot of riders who've got a good chance of breaking into the top five in the championship if they can get a good couple of rounds coming up.
Yeah, for Dan, I mean, he's just 1 point behind Adamson, 7 behind Carlton Husband. To get up to eighth in the championship, it gets a little bit more difficult north of that. But yeah, for Dan, he's had a solid season on the quiet. He's great in the soft stuff. So this isn't necessarily where you would see Dan making a great ride, but you never know. He's grown up around Gloucestershire. We've got several hard pack tracks right on our doorstep. So he's going to be no mug. And yeah, I think Dan could again surprise a few people.
Yeah, and a rider, just underneath him, Chris Mills, lightning out the starts.
Yeah,
He's a rider that, can get a good gate. We've seen he's got good pace early doors, and we know how important starts are. So another rider, 2 good starts, he could well be top 5 sort of position at the end of the weekend.
yeah, he was superb at Canada Heights, Chris Mills. So yeah, hopefully he'll be in and amongst them. Matteo Mio is also there. I think Jason Mira's not around this weekend. I'm not quite sure there's a bit of an issue with Jason. Matteo Mio for the SAS TPC KTM squad. He had a very good ride at Lommel. I think he was top 5 in the second race. So he had a real good ride there. And he's a Frenchman. Landrake should be right up his back. Should be right up his alley. And yeah, I expect Matteo to be top 10 at least this weekend.
Cool. Just one other rider to mention in MX1, James Dodd, newly crowned AMCA British champion,
Yeah,
for the Fuzz Marsh Honda team. So yeah, watch out for him. He could be interesting. Like I spoke to him at the start of the year. His little lad does the Revy Cup, and I spoke to him, and he keeps saying it's going to be his last year. But in terms of AMCA and the service, that sort of racing, like he just seems to be getting better every year. So yeah, watch out for him because he is a very smooth rider, very methodical, and he just keeps churning out the laps. So I wouldn't put a top 10 past him at all.
no, James Dodd is good to watch. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how he gets on there. Charlie Cole as well is another who likes a bit of hard pack. Had a podium at Foxhill a couple of years ago. So yeah, Charlie Cole has had a bit of quiet season on that Phoenix Tools Fantic, but yeah, the bike's good, and I think he's got a good chance.
Cool. Right. Are we going to do top 5? I'm changing it. I'm going to go wild. I'm going to go with just because I like to. Just because I want this to happen, not because of dissing anybody, but just because I want the championship to stay alive. But yeah,
Okay,
so do you want to go? You go your 5th first, and then I'll do my 5th rider first.
right. Okay, fifth place first. I'm going to go Tristan Purden.
Okay, I've gone exactly the same. I've gone Tristan Purden in 5th.
Fourth, Taylor Hamill.
Oh Jesus, come on! I've done that as well. Taylor Hamill.
Third, Adam Sterry.
Do you know what I've gone? I've gone Conrad Muse.
Oh, brave boy. Second, Josh Gilbert.
Okay, I've gone second, Adam Sterry.
And I've put first Conrad Muse.
And I've got Josh. I'm a West Country boy, right? You've got to stick with your West Country riders.
I'm a West Country boy.
Yeah, but
Gloucester.
do
I'm
you know what? I
Gloucester,
don't
man.
class Gloucester as West Country, is it? That's
You are.
you're
You are. I've
Midland.
got to really tone it down.
Yeah,
Right? So,
Gloucester's like Midlands, isn't it? That's not West Country.
man, when I did the endurance racing commentary, I was nervous as hell because the two teams, Yart and Cert. Now, if I'm not careful, that comes out really bad in a West Country accent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's Yart in front of Cert. It's a right problem.
Will people be able to understand you this weekend?
Well, this is it. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I can go more natural this weekend, so that's good news.
That's it.
Anyway,
So yeah, so I'm going for Josh.
okay.
I've
Good,
got,
good work. Fair enough. Yeah,
I've got to stick with it. And yeah, I just think if there's any chink in Conrad's armor, it's going to be this weekend.
I like that. We got the same top three, but in different orders. I like that. That's good. That's good work. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, same top five.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All that us talking about training Tom, but yeah, okay. I'm
Well,
going to be proven
come on,
wrong.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Where do you think Trainer Tom's going to be?
I think it'd be sixth. I think if Tristan has a bad one, which he can tend to do. I think that Tom could be higher, but yeah, I'm going to put Tom as sixth overall.
Okay,
Sorry,
Tom.
Tom.
Right. If you want to give
There
Ben
goes my
a real
discount.
hard week next week, now's your chance.
It's going to get punishing, right? Okay, moving swiftly on. MX2.
MX2. Wow. What can you say about MX2? Tommy Searle,
Crazy time.
red plate holder, missed Preston Docks, but is still 1 point in the lead ahead of Little Bill. Wow.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy championship this year. So, I mean, wow. I mean, you've got first round winner Bobby Bruce is just like, I mean, he's not even on the entry list. So, God knows what's happening with Bobby. We really hope that he can come back out of this sort of latest hole that he finds himself in. But yeah, he's had a nightmare since Hawkstone really. But now, yeah, you've got Tommy up there by a point from Billy. I mean, it's almost playing to Tommy's hands, isn't it? I mean, what do you do? It's a strange one, but yeah, I mean, we know that he's kind of been back on a bike. We saw him blasting around on his the MXDN machine, or was it just a quick tear up of Doc Wobb's lawn? I think that was all it did. So yeah, who knows? There's a shot of him, I think today in O'Neill kit, I think for a promo. Whether or not that meant he was out riding as well, I don't know. But yeah, who knows? Or Tommy might just be saving himself for this weekend. Good memories from Landrake for Tommy. He's sealed at least 2 British championships down there. So he must have good vibes going to the place, and I'd fully expect him to do what's necessary. But yeah, I really don't know what's going to come from this class this weekend. It's just all up in the air.
But I think, the more interesting, we've got 1 point between the Dirt Store triumphs. But what I think is interesting to me is the two riders creeping up very closely behind. Charlie Heyman, I think, has really, in the last probably 6 weeks, I think Charlie Heyman has stepped it up a gear. I think his career, we've always said that, he's such a smooth rider, he's so controlled. But I feel confidence is the only thing that he lacks. It's certainly not speed, certainly not skill. But I feel some of the results, obviously Matley Basin, he's been riding really well in Scotland. He's been riding with the 450s and been competing. I just really feel he's coming on and on and on. And I think he's ready to push for this title. I really do, because, he's been riding a lot in Scotland over the last 2 years. When we get to the double duns, do you know what I mean? I think that's where he could really, really come good. But, we're saying that about Charlie Heyman. You've got Ben Musto probably in a very similar vein to Charlie. Do you know what I mean? This is a rider that's starting to come of age. And, they look at that scores there. Ben Musto is 6 points off of the red plate. That is all. And Ben has been consistent all the way through. And yeah, and I think they can see that, Tommy's not going to be 100%. Billy is, we know how fast he is, but he's got chinks in his armor. We've seen that. I do feel that those two guys can probably sense that a title could be on their way, and they've also seen people like Guy and Dunson, have bad rounds. We've got Oriol Oliver who's missed rounds. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the opportunity is there for someone like Charlie or Ben to be an MX2 British champion, and how much would that do to their careers as well at this stage?
Yeah, no, it would be cracking. I mean, it's mad that they're up there. I mean, like you say, it's 6 points. You would not have called that at the start of the year. Halfway through, 6 points, but off of the championship lead, you've got Charlie Heyman and Ben Musto equal third. Especially when you have the likes of Dewinson, Max Verner, who's been hurt. All these guys lining up. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've scribbled out my top five several times. So I've got no idea where we're going. This is a highly uneducated guess you're going to get here from me, but yeah, I mean, you've got these top lads, and it's almost like, okay, this is where I'd love the top five to be, like, from a British point of view. But don't forget, then you've also got Kian Dewinson, who's been a top EMX rider, podium at Ernay, and Ernay is as hard pack gets at GP level, or EMX level, and he has just raced his first MX2 Grand Prix at Lommel. So Dewinson's just coming off of that sort of background there. Kai Carsmakers has been quick on returning to the GPs after his team fell apart at the start of the year. And of course, now he's on the bike at Dixon machine. So again, that is likely to be fast into the first corner. Okay, they're not hard pack specialists, but you'd think that their sort of GP level pace should certainly bring them up there. But I kind of find myself hoping not. I really want to see the likes of Heyman and Musto get out there and give it some. So we'll see what comes of it. And also, let's not forget Ollie Colmer scored his first GP points on the Chambers KTM at Lommel. A great first ride to get into the points there. And yeah, I mean, he's got all the ability to push himself further up. Living in Belgium as well now, so again, he is going to be more of a sandman. But he's born and raised and doing well here. So who knows? It's it's so wide open that yeah, I'm finding it tough to call. But yeah, what do you think?
And I think as well, like you said, with those guys in there, they're going to get in the middle for points as well. And that is going to be, the tricky bit, I think. We could come away from Landrake with 4 riders within a couple of points. I think all 5, because Gian Dunson, let's be fair, is not a million miles off. If he gets 2 good squalls under his belt, you get some of these, cars makers and Oliver in the middle of it all. Suddenly, it's really tight. It could be really tight. A couple of riders, Jake Nichols and Glenn McCormack, in 6th and 7th in the championship, got a big shout out to those because, they've also been consistent. And that's been the big sort of tail of this championship has been consistency, isn't it? We've
Yeah.
riders missing the rounds, having crashes and stuff like that. And, the consistency is definitely, the key. If it carries on the championship in that way, we're halfway through, then yeah, consistency. If consistency pays off, then I think Musto and Heyman are going to be the guys coming through. But yeah, there's so much racing still to go. It feels like the season's been really long. I don't know about you, but it feels like it's been really long, but we're only halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's when it's constant like this, then yeah, it does feel like it's getting brutal. But the brutal bits are to come with the crazy September, Turkey, China, Australia. That's when it's going to get brutal.
You're making out your life's
Yeah.
hard, mate.
Say again?
You're making out you got a hard life. You got, live a jet set lifestyle. I bet it's everything's first class, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Caviar
No
on
chance.
planes and all that.
No chance. No way. No way. I'm going to use as little of that in front travel budget as I can. But yeah,
You're in
so
your tent this weekend, talking to travel budgets and things like that.
say again.
You're in the tent this weekend.
I'm in the tent. Yeah, I'm in the tent at Landrake. Yeah, go down Saturday. Yeah, it's about a 4-hour drive for me. So yeah, get down there, camp up, and crash out, ready to hit the mic all day. So
So
yeah, it's good.
just to let everybody know, Ben's tactic is to pretend he doesn't know what he's doing with the tent. Right? He waits for someone to go over and go, "Oh, you're all right. Do you want me to give you a hand?" And then he stands back and lets them put the tent up for him.
That is utter rubbish.
I've seen it happen.
You saw it. You saw it the only time it happened. No, I've got to repair the poles after Monster Mountain. They took a hammering up there, so yeah, the poles need a bit of duct tape to sort them out. So that's good. We'll get it done. Not a problem.
EIP tentage. Right.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
do this. Top 5.
Okay. Top 5. You go first then.
Okay. I'm going to go Dunson 5th.
Dillon's in fifth. Okay. I've got Billy Askew.
Okay. I've got Askew fourth.
I got Musto fourth.
Okay. I've got Charlie Heyman in third.
I've got Kai Carsmakers in third.
Okay. So I've got Kai Carsmakers in second.
I've got Charlie Heyman in second.
Cool. Fair play, big faith in Charlie. I've got Oriol Oliver in first.
Me too.
There we go. To be fair, similar, very similar again.
Yeah, I mean, Oriol's not had a great few GPs. I mean, he had, he had an illness. He missed a couple of races, and he's no Lommel man. So, yeah, to come back now to a bit of hard pack, I'm sure he'd absolutely love it. I mean, we didn't mention Max Werner, who is a German rider, has also been doing the GPs and getting up there, but yeah, those guys, both Dunson and Werner, have kind of struggled to put like whole weekends together. So that's why I haven't got either of them in my top five, but I'm fully open to be completely shocked and turned upside down by what's ahead of us, because yeah, it's pretty crazy. Interesting, none of us had Tommy up there. So we're thinking that he's still going to be too hurt to really, really go for it.
Yeah, I can imagine him being like sixth, seventh, something like that, and
Yeah.
just, banking the points. One rider I was going to mention, because I think he's steadily getting better all the time, is Josh Vale, because
Yeah, for sure.
I feel he's been riding really well and going under the radar and riding really well. So and I put Rafe Broadley in that as well. I've been really impressed with Rafe Broadley this year. I don't think he's been getting quite enough credit really for how he's been riding.
No, absolutely. I mean, he was up there in the two-stroke EMX race at Lockett, and then had a collision and all sorts of things go wrong. So yeah, he's better than his results prove there. Another one that might be interesting as well, Florian Mio could be good around there for the SSTPC guys, but also Tyler Hooley won his big with 85cc title at Landrake on a knife edge over Ben Musto in 2021. Which was an amazing end to the series between those two. It was decided by like half a wheel width. It was crazy. Yeah, so Tyler will have, well, he'll have good and bad memories, because he also crashed his brains out going down the big hill the year after. So yeah, hopefully he'll remember the good bits and not the bad bits, and get right up there. But yeah, be interesting to see how they all go.
Yeah, sure. And I remember actually, I think it was an MX Nationals, Florian Mir having a really good round at Landrake. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a big old French style circuit, uphill, down dale, hard pack and fast. So yeah, they won't be afraid of it.
Cool. 125s. This is a
125.
125s, mate. Three riders separated by 18 points. It's been a pretty fantastic addition to this championship, the 125s for sure. And beef as well. Definite beef. And yeah, at the moment, Charlie Richmond leads the championship by 13 points. He's looked really good, Charlie Richmond, this year, to be fair. But you know what? So has Ryan Waggett, especially at Hawkston. Ryan Waggett was outstanding. We see Drew Stock really come to the party at Canada Heights with some real clever, canny riding as well. So you've got three riders there that have all had fantastic rounds. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'll probably say this does favour Charlie Richmond, this track, out of everybody, but I might be wrong. But I can see Charlie just edging it here.
Yeah, I mean, so far each round has been a 1-1, but just for different riders every time. So it's 1-1 for Ryan at Hawkstone, Ryan Waggett, a 1-1 for Jamie Keith in the one round he wasn't able to do. Injury claimed him back again, and wish Jamie all the best in his recovery. We understand that we might not see him back on the 125. It could be straight to 250. So we just hope that Jamie's able to pull that through, no problem. And then Drew Stock a 1-1 at Blacksaw, and then of course the 1-1 for Charlie at Preston Docks. But yeah, mighty close. And although Drew Stock got the most points there at Lommel, what many didn't see was that Charlie Richmond was held up at the start of race 2 and came all the way back through. It's a full old field, full gate, and he came all the way back to 21st at the end. Did not stop pushing through the Lommel sand. So that's testament to his fitness, his determination to get up there. So I was really impressed by Charlie at Lommel, and but then again, Drew got a decent start, scored solid points, and is definitely a factor. So contrasting characters. Hayden's stat could well be in the mix. He crashed badly at Preston Docks, so I hope that he's in the entry list, and we hope that he's able to take the line and put some good stuff together, because he also can be very fast in this sort of going. But I think it's going to be between those two or three. Not sure how Ryan Waggett's going to do on this sort of going. Canada Heights, he was 6th and 5th. So, and then since then, Blacksall and Preston Docks are more sand, which is more Ryan's thing. So, how it's going to be, we don't really know. Sorry. Canada Heights was 4-3 and Blacksall was 6-5. So, who knows? Not sure. Not sure for Ryan.
I've got to give a shout out to my nephew, because he's riding in the 125 as well, Corey Gordon. So give him a shout out, because he did bring me back some of the Haribo cherries from Belgium, and they're unbelievable. Yeah. So that has fueled me today, mate. I probably wouldn't have been able to do this podcast.
This podcast is sponsored by Haribo cherries.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it's fueled by that, because that has got me going today. Lucozade, proper old school Lucozade. So and Haribo cherry. So good luck, Corey, for this weekend. Right, let's just do our top fives, and then I think probably need to have a little chat about nations, I reckon.
Okay. Top 5, 5th place, Christopher Brindley for me.
Do you know what? I had him and I crossed him out.
He's been very fast at Monster Mountain, and I think he could well surprise a few.
Okay, I did have him. Sorry, Christopher. I hope you do sort of 5th, 6th fish, but I've put Harry Lee in there in the end in 5th.
Cool. 4th, Lucas Moncrief.
Okay. I've got Ryan Waggett.
3rd, Hayden Stat.
Same here.
2nd, Drew Stock.
Yeah. Snap.
1st, Charlie Richmond.
It's either great minds think alike, or we're both really shit at this.
We'll get the answer after this short break. Just everything screams towards a Charlie Richmond win there, and I'm going to upset people, but I'm just going by what I think could happen. That's that simple as that. I'm more than happy to be proven wrong, and more than happy to see a great race trying to prove me wrong. But it's going to be Monty Fives is always good fun, and around there, who knows what can happen. It's going to be pretty crazy, but I just got the feeling that Charlie's on such strong form. This is really his sort of circuit naturally. I think it's going to be entertaining. Hayden, I might have put up to 2nd, but don't know how fit he is. So we'll see how he goes from there. And Chris Brindley, Lucas Moncrief have been getting better and better all season. So that's why I've got them there. So we've got about a minute left on the podcast then, and you want to talk about nations for a bit?
Yeah, so I was just going to say, it is coming up. Nations, everyone's sort of teams are being announced. Team GB, very quiet on there. You did say, were you expecting an announcement today?
I thought I saw one, but I think it was quad cross. So that was that. But I think personally, from my side, I think the best 3 riders in the UK are definitely Conrad Muse, Ben Watson, and Adam Sterry. That's your 3 men. But who goes on the 250 is the biggest thing. Is the biggest question. I've heard that Adam's got access to maybe a good bike, so that could make the difference. But who knows? It all depends if Max Anstey's fit or not. Because if Max Anstey's fit, he's a shoe-in for the 250, and then it's who you take out of Ben, Adam, and Conrad. Then it's really who you're going to upset the most. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and don't forget, Josh Gilbert was pissed last year that he didn't make the cut.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah. But Josh has not had a good year, so I don't expect him to really be in the running personally.
Going to be interesting. So it's going to be interesting for sure who Team GB are going to pick. Let us know who you think should be in that squad, who should be heading over to America and repping the red, white and blue. That's it for us for now, but I look forward to being back with another show next week and going over what happened at Landrake, who did what, and how our predictions went. And hopefully we will see you down in Cornwall, or we will join you again on next week's show.